Sure, but you also like really put a lot of work into the idea of experimenting with arrangements. Isn't that what you do as well?
I don't know, that's just what...
More contemporary folk sound, say here, or something else there, that kind of thing.
But not consciously.
Right, okay.
Yeah, just like, you know, a lot of daydreaming when I should have been, you know, studying. But that's what we thought about and listened to so much, so many different kinds of musics.
If people say that New Frontier was a breakthrough album, or a breakthrough time for you, around that time.
New Frontier.
No, it's a New Favorite, sorry.
New Favorite, okay.
Was a breakthrough album for you. Do you know, did you feel that, did you realise that at the time in the mid-90s that it really was? I mean, and why was it that? Because it was played on other radio stations that it mightn't have been played on?
Boy, I didn't know it was a breakthrough record. That's nice.
I don't know. I wasn't in the States listening to radio stations to see when you played in other stations.
No, you know, I guess that one of those, it was, you mean as opposed to radio playing stuff?
No, I mean like at some stage people say that was the one that did it for her, for instance. I mean like you know, you have in many ways probably grown away from the kind of, I don't know, the earthy, rollicking bluegrass original thing. That's a good thing, because you always have to move on, or you always have to evolve or whatever. Do you feel you have done that? Or do you feel you ever sit down to make an album to say, well, I've done that, so I better do this now?
No, we don't. We just, you know, as you get older, you know, I mean, when some of those records, you know, I was still a teenager.
Yeah.
And your tastes are going to change, just, you know, just as you're growing up.
Yeah.
And you look for different songwriters, and we've been lucky enough to run into a lot of really amazing songwriters. And then you know, when we're making a record, if we find one song we really like, okay, this is the one we're going to start with, and we're going to pick everything else around that song, and that'll suddenly create some sort of mood.
Yeah.
So it really dictates itself.
Were you surprised with the whole Oh Brother thing, Oh Brother Where Art Thou, and the success that it had, and the billions of albums sold and all the rest of it, and your huge contribution to it? And other things, by the way. You've been in lots of movies here, there and everywhere, even Disney animation movies, etc. I mean, is that all good stuff? It opens other doors?
I love getting a chance to do things to try things in a different way and experience something new. I think about that more than like doors opening, you know, as being something fun. I just sang for the second Bambi movie.
Right.
They're finishing that up now, you know, and it was, I mean, amazing. You know, I'm sitting there, well, standing there singing this song, and they've got a monitor with the movie playing on it, and I'm supposed to sing something to the rhythm of these fish flowing by.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's very different, and you have somebody in there telling you exactly what they want, and I feel really good if I can deliver it, you know.
Yeah.
So it's,
But I mean, like, different than Coal Mountain and Mona Lisa's Smile, or The Divine Secrets of the Ya Sisterhood and The Prince of Egypt and all the rest, would be Oh Brother. Are you surprised, or do a lot of people come to you and say, oh, you're the Oh Brother person?
a lot of people know us from that. Yeah, that was amazing to get to do that.
And the Down from the Mountain tour, was that
One of
good
the
fun?
best times I ever had.
I'd say so, yeah. I'd say it was good.
It was a great time.
What do you, like, do you read the Bible? Do you live by the Bible? Or
Do I live
do you
by
try
it?
to?
No, I would say that a lot of people would say that I don't. Then other people would say that I do. Ron, do I live by it? You would say so? He says I do.
Okay, that's good enough. The America that you grew up in Champaign, that's what it was, yeah. The America that you grew up in then, and as a kid and going to school and all the rest of it, and the music, etc., and the America of this current century, from 9/11 to what's happened in New Orleans in the summer of 2005, is it a different place for you? Is it like, wow, I didn't realize we were so vulnerable, I didn't realize it was so scary, or I didn't realize this could be so terrible? And how, like, you know, how does it affect the places that you're from? I mean, do people look upon it differently now to try and come together like they might have done the Second World War kind of time, or what is it?
Boy, you know, I think it's very unreal to a lot of people that would happen. Both of those. I mean, the second tragedy, you know, it's shocking. You can't believe it's happening here, but you can't believe that things like that happen anyplace else either.
Okay, just getting back finally to the music. The group that you have, they hail from all over the US. Does that make a difference to you, or the fact that, like, a lot of them would meet at bluegrass festivals anyway, and that's how they got to know each other? But does it mean anything that they don't all come from the same area? Like, I mean, I know you went pretty early on to Nashville, etc., but they're from here, there, and everywhere. Is that a good thing, or does it make a difference? The music is everything, so it doesn't really matter where they come from.
Yeah, you know, we all met at bluegrass festivals. We all have, you know, common interests. But I think the most important thing that we have in common, which doesn't matter where you're from at all, is the fact that we are all members of one unit, and that we are interested in what that group sounds like, as opposed to what each, you know, oh, what about me? It's all about what the five of us like. And
for a lot of people who follow you, though, it's all about the perfection in the music that leads to a kind of a warmth, and that's what I get from it. Now, your voice will be one huge part of that. That's why I asked earlier on, was it just you were only signed because of the fiddle thing, and the voice thing almost come later? Because, I mean, people talk about the sensual appeal and the dramatic tension that you have of just what's in there, and you can get to a note and a point where, like, a line like, for instance, you know, I'm living proof of the damage that heartbreak does. Would you get a letter about that kind of thing ever? People say, you know, you've saved my marriage, or you've helped me here, or because the actual way you get that right.
We've had letters, and I've got to talk to people that a song really has made a difference, and then you know, then you feel real funny because we didn't think that was going to happen. You know, we're trying to get it where we like it, and then the fact that it affects people like in a really strong way, that's in a hopeful way. You think, wow, this really might have more meaning than you know, being really anal
and
in
just
the
up there
studio.
playing music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that actually there is real power in it. I think you get so close to what you're working on, and you're picking it apart, that you can often, you know, you have blinders on, and you're really focused. You're looking at your belly button.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. Tracks like Choctaw Hayride or Stuck Old Hen, all these, I mean, they're the ones that you, I mean, like, it's the real thing. It's right there. It's the playing. Do you always want to make sure you have plenty of those there to let people know what the music is? Almost, it's a cruel thing to say, and not let the vocals get in the way. I'm nearly saying that.
It's funny. I'm probably a little more into that than, well, I'll just say Barry plays bass with us. He doesn't seem to want to do them as much as the rest of us, but I always want to have one like that on there. But he doesn't always.
When you moved to Nashville, why did you move to Nashville? Was it your family did, or you said this is where music is and I'm going to follow the music?
I had a friend who moved there when I was 14. She moved there when she was 16. And she was there, and I always wanted to go there because she was there. And that's where we recorded. And we got to a point where we stayed at this motel so long that we had run up a $4,000 hotel bill there because we were recording so much. And so then we said, well, why don't we just get an apartment here? Since we're spending all this money to stay here, we might as well just live here. So that's what we did.
Live on stage, finally, does it change? Do you have a set list? Are you, like, I get the impression you're one of these bands that might just be quite rigid about what you do on a tour. You're not going to, like, it's not like Bob Dylan, who'll come on, his backing musicians don't even know what song he's playing halfway through the damn thing, and anything could happen out of 5 million songs he's written, so you guys better be together kind of thing. You guys have it all sussed beforehand. That's the way it's going to be. That's
probably more about me, I would think, than the other guys. They probably wouldn't mind a little more spontaneity, but I feel like there's, just like when you know, when finally you get past that point of the song being more remembering than just doing, I feel like the set has the same kind of thing about it. Like, where you don't have to go, okay, what's next? Okay, yeah. Where you get to a point where you know what's next, and it becomes one big thing instead of, and it helps me. I think that it probably gets maybe it gets a little more dull for the others than to keep doing the same thing, but I think it becomes something different when that guesswork is gone.
Sure. Okay, well, Alison, what's next for Alison Krauss in Union Station? Where do you go from here? Making albums, that's it, is it?
Probably. We haven't started talking about that yet. We're going to probably take a little time off and then start again.